E-bikes can potentially help the environment in a few ways. Reduced emissions. E-bikes emit fewer greenhouse gases compared to cars and other motorized vehicles. The energy consumption of an e-bike is also generally lower than that of a car. Reduced congestion. If more people choose to ride e-bikes instead of cars, there would be fewer vehicles on the road, reducing congestion and air pollution. Reduced resource consumption. E-bikes typically require fewer resources to manufacture than cars, and they also take up less space in parking lots and on roads. However, it's worth noting that e-bikes still require energy to charge their batteries, and that energy often comes from non-renewable sources like coal-fired power plants. Additionally, the environmental impact of e-bikes depends on factors like the source of the electricity used to charge them, the materials used to manufacture them, and how they're disposed of at the end of their useful life. Overall, e-bikes have the potential to be a more environmentally friendly mode of transportation than cars, but they are not a silver bullet solution to environmental problems. There are additional environmental benefits of e-bikes that should be considered. Increased physical activity. Although e-bikes provide assistance with pedaling, they still require some physical effort to operate. Therefore, e-bikes can promote physical activity and provide health benefits to riders, which can also reduce greenhouse gas emissions from the healthcare industry. Reduced noise pollution. E-bikes are generally much quieter than cars and other motorized vehicles, reducing noise pollution in urban areas. Increased use of public transit. Some people use e-bikes as part of their commute, which may encourage them to use public transportation more frequently, as e-bikes can make it easier to get to and from transit stations. Reduced dependence on fossil fuels. E-bikes can be charged using renewable energy sources like solar or wind power, which reduces dependence on fossil fuels. However, it's important to note that the environmental benefits of e-bikes can vary depending on how they're used and the context in which they're used. For example, e-bikes may not be as environmentally friendly in areas with limited infrastructure for cycling or high levels of air pollution. Nevertheless, overall, e-bikes can contribute to a more sustainable transportation system when used in appropriate contexts. Many of the environmental benefits of e-bikes also apply to conventional bicycles. Like e-bikes, conventional bikes don't emit greenhouse gases or consume fossil fuels, and they promote physical activity and reduce noise pollution. However, e-bikes may have some additional benefits over conventional bikes, such as making cycling easier for people who might not otherwise be able to ride due to physical limitations or long commutes. Additionally, it's worth noting that the environmental impact of bicycles and e-bikes depends on a variety of factors, such as the materials used to manufacture them, how they're transported, and how they're disposed of at the end of their useful life. Overall, both conventional bicycles and e-bikes can be more environmentally friendly transportation options compared to cars and other motorized vehicles, but the extent of their environmental benefits depends on how they're used and the broader transportation system in which they're used. Other advantages of e-bikes to the environment. Here are some additional advantages of e-bikes to the environment. Reduced wear and tear on roads. E-bikes are lighter than cars and other motorized vehicles, which means they cause less damage to roads and infrastructure. Reduced need for parking. E-bikes take up much less space than cars, reducing the need for large parking lots and garages, which can free up space for parks or other green areas. Reduced reliance on single-occupancy vehicles. E-bikes can help reduce the number of cars on the road, particularly for short trips or commutes, which can help reduce traffic congestion and air pollution. Reduced demand for oil. E-bikes use electricity to power their motors, which means they don't require oil or other fossil fuels to operate. Reduced production of brake and tire particles. E-bikes typically have regenerative braking systems that produce fewer brake particles than conventional bicycles, which can contribute to cleaner air quality in urban areas. Overall, e-bikes have the potential to offer many environmental benefits when used in appropriate contexts. However, it's important to consider the full life cycle of e-bikes, including their production, use, and disposal, to fully understand their environmental impact. I'm not a scientist or even an authority on the environment, but I feel as though my short time on this earth, knowing what damage we are doing to it, I should do something about correcting whatever I have done to it so far, and using an electric bike in place of an automobile to get around can and does help our planet last a little longer. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share or subscribe to help support my channel. It doesn't cost you anything just to comment or question. This is a Gary's Resolve.